What up, G Life? This right here, you already know, is beautiful Killer Cali, California. Land of palm trees, beautiful weather, and also gang banging capital, bro. You already know right here is home to, gang banging in itself, where it originated at, with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different gangs and thousands of documented gang members. It cracks in California. Now, specifically, we'll be in the southern portion of California. You already know how the South does it, bro. Land of the blue, and land of the Los Angeles, Los Angeles and other parts of Southern California like San Diego, Orange County, San Fernando Valley, Antelope Valley, Riverside, IE, San Bernardino, everybody in between, from the Desert Empire, Coachella, Indio, and everybody else. It definitely cracks within, Southern California. And this is a video that has been getting requested for quite some time. So with no further ado, let's get into it. Street raised, I was brought up with a G state. Peep game, those who didn't catch one to your brain. Stay in your lane, never wolfed it, boy, I never fake. Watch them break, watch them fall, still I remain. Never change, never try to come and rearrange. Never hate, never tripping on somebody's plate. That shit is lame, leave that type of shit for the dames. The streets don't play, yo, catch up, watch your life as capes. One game, homie, that you shouldn't play. There's real soldiers in the streets gunning every day. This shit is normal in the vital part of every day. It ain't great, but I'm loyal, so I'll never change. I keep repeating, but I mean it, never lose your way. Heed the warning and the missing just for talking brave. Fuck my enemies, two faces and all the snakes. Now for this matter, just name the time and name the place. We'll get it active, fuck the gap, and I mean face to face. Real gangsters never fold, then we never shake. I was brought up to...
You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment.
Now, for starters, like the title says, we shall be covering all Diablo neighborhoods because you already know that this area is not only home to angels, but also to them devils. Diablos is another term that, was grabbed and used by these varrios, these gang members, to either brand their cliques, their nicknames, or their individual varrios in themselves. Diablos is a term that often gets used a lot. Now, to find the first one on the list, we actually have to travel to my hometown, the 818, San Fernando Valley. Stand up. The 818 is home to already a lot of different neighborhoods. But to be more exact, we shall be heading towards the area of Sun Valley. Yes, Sun Valley is home to one of these devil gangs, which is known as the Varrio SVDS. SVDS translating to Varrio Sun Valley Diablos or Sol Valle Diablos, whichever one. It is a neighborhood that's been well established here already for a cool minute. Now, the area of Sun Valley in itself is home to several different gangs. From the Grumpy Winos, to the Diablos, to the Sol Treces, to the Violent Boys. Now, although the original neighborhood in Sun Valley is Sol Trece, and the more recognizable neighborhood that everybody talks about is the Violent Boys. But don't ever get it twisted. The Diablos are also right there handling business. It is a real neighborhood. It was roughly always a small neighborhood in Sun Valley, one of the more smaller neighborhoods in the San Fernando Valley and within the area, only up to about 60 to 70 members to them at its max. But individuals that handle business. Now, I have had my run into with these individuals, so I know that they're down and I know that they do handle business. You know what I mean? So don't ever get it twisted. They handle business. Now, although the area of Sun Valley is home to different Sun Valley neighborhoods and they are all proud to be from Sun Valley and represent it proudly, there's inner beefs between them. I know there's other neighbors that rep the same city that could coexist, but here it's a whole different, thing. They don't get along with each other. There's heavy animosity beef, and it just be going down. Now, their territory is everything that was from San Fernando Road. San Fernando Road, their territory extends all the way to Truesdale Street. Their territory extends all the way to where the freeway's at, and the freeway all the way to Lancashire and back around. But everything that's throughout Sheldon is their barrio, their domain. Now, to be more exact, the heart of their hood, the establishment, where it goes down, their dojo is on the Fernangeles Park. Those who are familiar with the area know about Fernangeles Park. That is their stomping grounds, their breeding grounds. That is where they handle business. That was always their terrain, their domain, and where they did their thing. And yes, the Sun Valley Diablos is still an active, neighborhood that's been here since like roughly around like the 70s. So they've been right here already for a cool minute, putting theirs on the map and continue to represent for the Devils out of Sun Valley. Now, to find the next neighborhood on the list, the next Devil neighborhood, we actually have to be maneuvering our way to West LA. To be exact, the infamous and famous Pico Union District. Pico Union District, for those who are not aware, is a very notorious area right here within Los Angeles. One of the most notorious areas when it comes to West LA. The Pico Union District, is obviously known for so many different neighborhoods, the 18th Streeters, the MSers, and several other, neighborhoods that are jam-packed within the same area, making it the danger zone, bro, because right here is constant warfare because there's so many different gangs that don't get along with each other that are jam-packed within the same area that you're going to get tensions and beefs and clashes because all these neighborhoods tend to beef it with each other. And in this very area, it is home to one of these neighborhoods. This one being a little different because this one actually started off as a tagging crew at first, which is the barrio DIA. DIA, which is known as Diablos. They write Westside DIA or Southside DIA because they are located in a different area as well, but we'll get to that. So in the West Side, they're known as the Westside DIA. DIA, then they translated to Diablos. Originally, it was a tagging crew that stood for many different things, doing it all, down in action, deadly, insane assassins, and they made it stand for all kinds of stuff, bro. Like crews tend to do. And they had members, it was a very large crew. On the simple fact that it has been around since the 80s, that the tagging crew was established, when tagging was at its, all-time peak, roughly around those times. So the numbers, their crew was large. It was a large crew. But being stuck within that area where there's different gangs and they're trying to press up on you and stuff like that, the tagging turned into now having to defend yourself, and fights turned into stabbings, and stabbings turned into shootings allegedly. And the crew ends up manifesting in taking a life of its own. Hence why you have them climbing up the ladder and becoming who they became, because they representing West Side, Diablos, as a neighborhood. Now, the reason why I say that they write West Side is because they also have a SSDIA, which is Southside Diablos, which is the same as this one. But these one not to be confused with the ones in San Diego. These Southside Diablos are referring to the south portion of Los Angeles, which is in the area of Cudahy. Their territory. They have a territory in Cudahy, so they write the Southside Diablos, but these are the Westside Diablos, and the Westside Diablos are located on 3rd and Union. 3rd and Union is their hood, their domain, their dojo, close to the Rockwood streets. That's why there's heavy tensions and beef between those groups, and why they have, several cliques like the Union Boys and etc. Those are the ones that are located on the West Side. And in the South Side, they're located on Live Oak or on Elizabeth, where the little park is at. That is their terrain, their domain, their dojo. Down in Cudahy, they haven't been around that long, and they're a lot more smaller, but they at least say to be in the hundreds, if not almost in the hundreds, at least from what I was told. You can take what you want from it, but yeah, they are known as the DIA right there, representing out of the West LA and the South LA. Now, to find the next devil neighborhood, we actually have to be maneuvering our way to the area of South Central. What? South Central? Yeah, South Central, bro. There's a devil neighborhood in South Central. But it's roughly a new barrio. It hasn't been around that long. It used to be a crew that became a neighborhood. It was a crew roughly around the mid-90s, and then established becoming a neighborhood roughly around the 2014, 15, roughly around that time period. And they're roughly small, only about 40 members to them. But nonetheless, they're a real neighborhood. Like I said, they were a crew, but they did their thing, my boy. They did their thing. Now, they are known as the Barrio KDS, 70th Street, because obviously they're located on 70th Street. 70th Street in South Central is their domain, their dojo. That's where they do their thing. Now, the KDS translates to Crazy Devils or Crazy Diablos. So, yes, that is their... Now, before, they used to have different meanings and stuff like that, Crazy Dogs and all kinds of different stuff. East Side Crazy Dogs, because they do have, branches of homies that stay in the East Side, reside down there or whatever, but this is where they originated out of South Central. But, now, this is just the only term that they use is the crazy devils, the Diablos. That's the only way it's recognized now. And like I said, they are real hood, small, but don't ever get it twisted. They have members that do things and handle business and, represent for theirs, These guys ain't no suckers. And they continue to still represent it on 70th Street. And like I said, they do have branches in different locations, but here is their main turf, their main domain, and where they do their thing and continue to still represent it for the Crazy Devils. To find the next devil neighborhood, we actually have to make our way to the other valley, the other Valleros, the Sur Gangster Valley, the SGV. You already know the SGV is home to all kinds of barrios, well-known, respected neighbors like Bassett and El Monte Flores and Puente, and etc. So it definitely gets on and cracking here. And now, to be more exact, we shall be making our way to the area of Rolling Heights, the RH. The Heights, you already know, even though individuals say that it's nice, there's nothing but Koreans there, and wooty wooty wah, bro, they talking without knowing, speculating, and like I have said, speculation is never facts, bro. Assumptions are never facts. Now, even though the area looks the way it does, and there is Asian, population, heavy Asian population, there is raza here that do their thing within this area, and it is home to one of these real neighborhoods, which is known as the Barrio WID, translating to Barrio Wicked Insane Diablos. Now, Wicked Insane Diablos is, this is, their domain, their stomping ground. But actually, it is not the only area in which they're located, because they do have branches of their barrio in different locations. I heard they have them in the Valley. I heard they have them in Montebello. I heard that so they have different, clicas and establishments also located in different areas, because at least from what I was told, that this barrio is up to like 80 members. At least from what I was told, that spreads out into different locations. But this is their home. This is their stomping ground. This is what they represent. That's why you see it in their tattoos, and they represent it proudly. Don't ever get it twisted, bro. It cracks right here. You know what I mean? Because people have to keep this in mind. Rolling Heights is home to several barrios. Filipino, Asian neighborhoods. It's home to cribs. It's home to the Pocos Pero Locos. It's home to the Rolling Heights gangsters. It's home to several different barrios, homie. So these guys, don't think that it's peaches and cream over here, that there ain't nothing cracking. Nah, this is a war zone. And their territory of their barrio is everything that's from Fullerton Road to Mezcal Street. Their territory extends all the way to Los Padres Drive. Their territory still extends all the way to Vedera Road, or Vedera Drive. So everything that's in the middle is their barrio. But throughout Batson, if people are familiar with the area, throughout Batson, that is their home domain, their dojo. That is the main avenue in which, shit be cracking and going down. You get caught in Batson and it's a wrap. The Wicked Insane Diablos is a real neighborhood that started off as a crew, but nonetheless did their thing and represented the crime, climbed up the ladder, fast. They grew in numbers awfully quick too, as well. You know what I mean? For a tank crew, it was awfully large, but grew, established, the status, and did their thing, my boy, and representing now for that Wicked Insane Diablos right there. Now, to find the next barrio on the list, we actually have to be making our way to El Condado de Naranja, Orange County, the OC. Yes, the OC is home to one of these devil neighborhoods. People are probably scratching their heads, wondering, what am I talking about? But to be more exact, we shall be heading towards, you already know, Orange County is, one of its most dangerous areas, which is the area of Santana. Santana is home to gangbanging, bro. You already know, so many different vitals within this area. It cracks in Santana. And this is home to one of these devil neighborhoods that often people get forgotten, because it is known as the Diablos, but as in their alternate name. Because, like I have said this before, the Varrios in the OC have like a mascot name to them, like another name that they're known for. So to be more exact, the barrio is known as the Barrio 5th Street Rifa. 5th Street Rifa, Calle 5. So different from, different fifths. You know what I mean? This fifth has no connections to the other fifth. You know, we'll make another video and dive into all of that. Um, but yes, Santana is home to the Fifth Streeters, Calle Cinco. And yes, it is a very, very old neighborhood. At one point, it was large. It's not as large as it once was, but don't get it twisted. They still handle business because this neighborhood already goes back long time, long time. And and what's a trip is it is the only neighborhood to have kept a pretty good relationship with the F Troop neighborhood, considering that it's just right there. You know what I mean? And normally other varrios used to be a part of F Troop and they broke off and there was beef and stuff like that. But it seemed like they always had a good relationship with the Fifth Streeters. Who are located obviously on Fifth. Because you have different varrios right here. You have Third and Sixth and Latin Boys and all kinds of this madre. You know what I mean? But the Fifth Streeters have always held it down on Fifth. You know what I mean? That was always their domain. That was their stomping grounds. Close to the 17th Street, because obviously there's heavy animosity between the two barrios. Just because of it's just jam packed, within the area. It just, there's no breathing room. So obviously you're going to have heavy animosity by individuals due to that very exact fact. Because the Calle Cinco is still a well-known representative barrio that's still right here representing and still active, despite what individuals want to say. Like I said, never come to sugarcoat nothing. Just come and tell it how it is. So yes, the Fifth Street is known as Los Diablos. That is their other name, their mascot name, Los Diablos. And they do handle business with members, a few hundred members to them. Yes, they are that large because, like I said, they're old school. They're already dating back, long time, like I said. And they still continue to represent for the OC and for the Diablos, right there, them devils out of Fifth. Now, to find the next barrio, we actually have to be making our way to the area of the IE. Of course, the IE had to be on here, my boy. You already know the IE be cracking, homie. Shit, the IE is definitely on and popping. Who said the IE doesn't crack, bro? They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Because if you did, you would know that this is home to all kinds of barrios. Now, we shall be heading to the danger zone. Now, what do I mean by the danger zone? I mean Fontana. Why do I call it the danger zone? Shit, because if you get caught slipping over here, homie, it's a wrap, dog. Come on now. That's why it's a danger zone. Shit be cracking in Fontana. Despite what individuals want to say, nah, ain't nothing safe about this area, bro. You know what I mean? You end up missing. Fontana is definitely home to a lot of different barrios, that represent different sides of Fontana. Fontana is obviously broken up into sectors, from the south to the east and to the west. And these areas are home to different barrios that represent their sides of Fontana. So you have different east side Fontana neighborhoods. You have different south Fontana. You have different, West Fontana barrios, because these areas don't get along with each other, so that's why it's important to know the difference within the areas, because they obviously heavy animosity between the groups. So to be exact, we shall be maneuvering our way to the area of West Fontana. West Fontana is where you're able to find one of these devil neighborhoods, which is known as the barrio West Side Fontana Diablos. Now, like I said, the West Side Fontana is home to different neighborhoods. You know what I mean? From the neighborhood locals to different sets that represent for the West. One of the more smaller ones, and it's not as old school as the rest, is the barrio. The West of Fontana de Diablos. They were always roughly a smaller. A smaller neighborhood due to the fact that they're not as old school as, some of these other more larger established sets of Fontana. So, that's why it's definitely on and cracking. Now, the area of Westside Fontana Diablos is slap right in the danger zone. Where there's all kinds of different barrios, you know what I mean? So it definitely be cracking. And their area is not that large, their area, and their gang in themselves is not that large because they're only roughly about 40 to 50 members to them. Their neighborhood was everything. Now, their area consists of everything that's from Hemlock all the way to Muriel Avenue. Hemlock. Hemlock, their territory extends to Randall Avenue. Randall Avenue, their territory extends all the way to Beach Avenue. And back around. So, like I said, roughly a more smaller, area, but nonetheless, that's their domain. That's where they get it on and cracking. That's where you're able to find the West Side Diablos handling their business. That's the WSF DBS. Like I said, they represent Westside Fontana just like the rest of Westside, but they're all different barrios, so don't get them confused. So this is the Westside Fontana Diablos, and they still putting it down for theirs and holding it down. Now, to find the next barrio on the list, we actually have to be making our way to San Diego. Of course, bro, the SD has to have these Diablo neighborhoods, and more than one too. So to be more exact, we shall be starting off with the older one of the two, and the more larger one, the more recognizable one. This barrio is a well-known neighborhood, one of SD largest powerhouse. You know what I mean? Because they're already an old school barrio that is well established, and in the area in itself is large in itself. You know what I mean? So this is an old school barrio. Now, to be exact, we shall be making our way to the area that is known as Escondido. For those who are familiar, they know Escondido is an area that cracks. And it is home to several different barrios that claim Escondido. But to be exact, we shall be covering the EVDs. The EVD is translating to Esco Viejo Diablos. Esco obviously being the short term for Escondido, Viejo because it's an old barrio, and Diablos. Now, originally it was known as the Esco Santos, Esco, the old school Santo Viejo, it was an old barrio that split into different sectors, right? So you have the Santos, you have the Diablos, and you have the West Gang. The Esco Diablos are located in the east of Esco, while the West Gang is located in the west. You know what I mean? So that is, how it's broken down. And the barrio has beef with each other. It was an internal beef, and then that's why they broke off into different, you know what I mean? Now that's their personal issue. I'm not gonna dive into the whole details of all that because that's their neighborhood business. But it's a different barrio, so don't get it confused or nothing like that. The Esco Diablos is the larger one out of the three. It's the one that has the most amount of members in them. It's the one that people hear a lot about. Due to the sheer size of their barrio and the madness that be cracking right there. And like I said, it is broken up into different sectors, so it does get on and cracking here in Esco. Don't ever get it twisted. Their barrio is from Grape all the way to Hickory, and Hickory from Grand and all the way back. That is everything that consists of the barrio Escondido Viejo Diablos. Like I said, one of the largest ones in Escondido, well respected and well known, and continue to still represent theirs and put theirs on the map. Now, to find the next barrio on the list, we actually have to be maneuvering our way to, but still remaining here in San Diego, but now heading towards the south portion of San Diego. South San Diego. South San Diego is an area that also has neighborhoods that claim the south of San Diego, but they're all different gangs. None of these gangs are the same. You know what I mean? I know that this gang often gets confused with the SSD, which is a South San Diego barrio, because this is SSD. DBS or D13, either one is appropriate, but it does get confused a lot with the South San Diego neighborhood. But this one is actually known as the Southside Diablos. Yes, the Southside Diablos is a real neighborhood that is established here in San Diego. I heard people try to say it's a crew and stuff and all this and that. No, it's not. It's an old school San Diego barrio already out of South San Diego, and they have always been their own thing there, so they don't come off the Esco Diablos like I seen people try to say, or none of that, bro. They have no attachment to the only thing that they have in common is that they're representing Diablos, just like them, but they're different neighborhoods. These are the South Side Diablos, South Side DBS or D13 is how they rep theirs, and yes, they be right here representing for the south of San Diego.